Okay, let's turn to page 10. 我们先开第10页 ，page 10. Phrase 145. We're going to read from 145 to 148. Okay, let's begin. When entering a room. When entering a room, we should open the door quietly. When walking, we should be aware of our surroundings so as not to bump into anything. That's okay. We do this 4 phrases first, okay? Because we often neglect this, right? But I think I would like to bring your attention to this. Now, in Chinese, it's written as 缓接连勿有声. So, as you can see, the English translation is very different. The English translation is, when entering a room, we should open the door quietly. 我们将要步入一间房间的时候，要静静的把那个门打开。这跟缓接连很大的分别哈，对吧？所以我们也在思考一个问题，就是以后可能还是要把《弟子规》这个翻译啊做一个整理啊，吸取每一个版本最好的地方，然后呢做一个比较圆满的一个读本。你比如说这个哈，缓接连勿有声，它是有意思的。为什么缓接连勿有声，而不只是进一个房间呢？好，来，我们来 demo 一下哈。
各位是怎么样打开的？然后我们来看了，来，请问谁要 volunteer？ 谁要 volunteer 来做我的这个？Naturally, and the way you do it normally. Okay. 这样算是缓接连，对吧？说容易呢，好，那我们放什么放？就是这样，这样嘛。所以它是有始有终的，它不是只是拉了然后就啪下来。这缓接连就是不单只是慢慢拉，而且你看它是斜的，斜的拉呢是什么？它会有 resistance， 所以其实是应该把它开到这样，开到这样，然后才这样拉上去。那你看它的声音哦，是不是很舒服？很舒服啊。如果我不缓接连呢？你听到就觉得怎么样？心都不舒服，是不是 ？Even just by hearing the noise, you don't feel comfortable. So the whole thing about Chinese culture is we want to make people comfortable instead of aggravating them. 缓接连勿有声。那宽转弯呢？怎么样？Make a bigger turn and don't knock into something. Then what does that mean? So, in chapter 3, why I used to neglect this chapter? I used to think, it is so simple. Who doesn't know? 这么简单的东西还要放在这个所谓的《弟子规》里面啊，那个太看小我们了吧？你看，好像很容易做的事情，大家有没有做 ？Especially children, when you ask them to drop the blind, they go and then when they release it, okay. So, 中文有个概念叫做什么呢？叫做细心。什么叫細心？細就是細啊，好細心。
好，它不只是小心，它是细心。细心跟小心又不一样哦。小心就是你 be careful， 啊，细心说你是很什么，很 tender 的。这个细是一个 delicate heart。所以这中国人呢很讲究，做事要细心，做人要细心，这个心要很细，要很 tender。也就是说 ，don't be rude。Because everything we do, we must do it to benefit others. 做一切东西哦，都要利益别人，不是利益自己啊。其实哦，利益不到别人，也利益不到自己的。For instance, when you drop the blind, if you draw it up roughly, very rough, okay, the blind will break very easily, faster, and you have to go and buy a new one. 啊，你就破财了啊！你要 buy a new one. Okay? And then, as you do this, you get angry. Other people heard it; they also get aggravated. And then you have an atmosphere of confrontation at home. 所以你不利益别人，也不会利益自己的，是不是？通常你利益别人，就会利益自己。When you benefit others, you will benefit yourself. Yeah. So 常常呢 always think for others. Selfless， 它是无私，它是利人。Always think for others. Starting from the simple action of drawing up the blind. It also saves you money. As we take care of our things, it can save us a lot of money. 这就要细心。你看哦 in the older days, they used the same thing for a long period of time. Now, it is not abnormal to see an old man telling you, I have used this fountain pen for 40 years. I have used this refrigerator for, 30 years. But now we seem to be happy to say, oh, I have changed a new one after 3 years. Oh, I have changed a new television after 3 years. Okay, we seem to be taking pride in, buying new things instead of taking care of our old things. So 缓接连勿有声. One is you can actually help to reduce the noise, and when you do that, it means that you're not disturbing others. 你不会吵到别人。How many times you're aggravated by other people's rudeness? Now, when you sit in the restaurant, do you want to sit with noisy people? Because it's noise pollution. What is noise pollution? That means there are noise everywhere, and they make our heart very disturbing, very disturbed. Now, what is the noise pollution? But we are so used to noise pollution that we don't feel comfortable when there's no noise. So when we go home, the first thing we do, well, I did anyway, is to switch on the television. I don't know whether you do that, but you don't, huh? You're all very cultured and civilized and look very rich in colors. No? Like me? Now, the first thing I did was take a remote and switch on the television. Did I want to watch the television? No, I didn't want to watch it. I just want to have some noise in the house. I just let it run. I don't even know what program. I just let it run and run and run. And when there is no noise, we kind of feel panic. How come it's so quiet? You don't believe me? If I stop talking, I just look at you. You start to get panic. We need noise. We need instant response. Everything is instant noodles. Right? But noise is actually what disturbs our mind, because we're constantly distracted by this kind of noises, and other people are disturbed by us. I was enjoying my meal with some friends in a restaurant until a group of people came in who talked really loud. It really spoiled our meals. I mean, do I really have to know what they did? I don't have to, right? And I remember we went to a retreat, and we had to. I had to stay with 6 people in one room, and sharing one toilet. I don't know whether you have been to those retreats or not. Then there was this lady, who told every one of us what happened between him and his husband, their first date. What did she get from her husband, and how the whole process of the dating and so on. I mean, do you want to know that? We don't need to know, right? And then she started to ask me, well, what do you do? How are you? Are you married? Why you are not? You have children, and aren't you interested in whatever? Hey, I only met you like maybe 5 minutes ago. Do I have to tell the whole of my life? So I was trying to get some peace and tranquility in that camp. Instead, every day I have listened to her soap opera. 没有缓接连物有声啊。Every day is her talking and talking. Right? So it actually disturbs people. Right? And 宽转弯勿出冷 from the surface it means that yes, children, don't get yourself hurt, okay, by bumping into corners. But you think about this, another way of looking at this. Hey, do I have a cup here? A bottle? Can I borrow a bottle? Yeah. Thank you. Don't worry, it's washable. Now, I have a little mark here which is contaminated. Okay, this is contaminated. Now, when I drink water, okay, now I feel like drinking like this. Then I saw this, right? So what do? I turn it a bit, right? Then I can drink the water, okay? Do I have to insist to drink it this side? I don't have to, right? So 转一转弯嘛，对吗? Can you turn the bottle around a little bit? Can, right? How come we cannot in reality? In reality, we cannot, We insist, this is the place I want to drink my water from. If you don't agree with me, you die. It's that kind of like attitude, but in fact, you can just what? 宽转弯嘛，转一转可以吗？可以的，还可以喝吗？可以的，是吗？对不对？一定要跟你争嘛，然后对面我不喜欢，我就是要你这么喝，就两个就吵架了。其实转一转而已嘛，哦。So when we talk to people, when we find that we are stuck, okay, when we find that we are stuck, okay, when the water is half full, you may see that it is half full. I may see it as half empty. Is it half full or half empty, ladies and gentlemen? Lily, is that half full or half empty? Both also can, right? So why do you insist that it is half empty and I insist it's half full? Then we can argue until our last hair of drop, last piece of hair drop on the floor. We still would be what? I mean, not exactly right and not exactly wrong. We're just seeing things from two different perspectives. See, how we see the world depends on our attitude. Our attitude is everything. The word attitude if I can use like A represent 1, B represent 2, C represent 3, right? The numbers added up with this word is 100. perfect score. You don't trust me? You can do an exercise now. Okay? A, B, C, D, E is what? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay? When you add it all up, it's a perfect 100. Everything is about your attitude. You see, the Bata Shoe Company, legend has it that the Bata Shoe Company's owner sent a sales marketing manager, went to Africa to explore the shoe market. The manager went there, he did some research, he came back, he told the boss, "Hi boss, we don't need to go to Africa because they don't wear shoes." 他说老板不用去非洲啊，因为呢非洲人呢不穿鞋子的，所以我们的鞋子是卖不出的，不用去开发这个鞋的市场。Then the boss sent another sales marketing manager went over to Africa, to the same country. He came back and told the boss, "Boss, it's a huge market there because they don't wear shoes." You see the difference? 他回来他说：“哇，老板，这个市场太大了，因为他们不穿鞋的。我们可以怎么？我们可以发展，他们可以穿着鞋子，一定会卖很多的。So you see, the same phenomena, okay, that two people have observed, and two of them can come up with entirely different interpretation, 是吧？那今天你看到问题了 ，now you see a problem. Do you get excited or you get depressed? You see a problem, right? 哎呀，my son never listen to me. Now this is a challenge and problem. Do you get excited or you get depressed? You get depressed, isn't it? Absolutely depressed, and it's half empty. You know, it's like, ugh. And I have to face this enemy every day. There's no escape. It's not like a friend, you know. It's not like a friend. If you don't like each other, you don't have to talk to each other. You don't have to call each other, right? But this is your enemy. Every night before you sleep, you see him. Every morning you wake up, you see him. Okay, and you cannot say, "I hate you. I don't want you. Please leave." No, he's your son. Okay, so what do? Get excited. Get excited. 喂，兴奋点嘛，找那个兴奋点出来嘛，是不是 ？It's a feel of excitement. Why do you feel depressed? I mean, you know, life is like that, okay? Whether you want to depress or you want to excite, it's your attitude. Since we have to get depressed every day, we might as well get excited, right? Why get depressed? Get excited. It's a challenge. Whoa, great. It's a challenge, big, wonderful, bigger excitement. Okay? Unsolvable challenge, good. I got plenty of exciting solutions that I can think about. Okay? Always remember this Bata story, okay? So if you come back and look at a problem, and then you look at Malaysia has got a lot of problems. You get excited or you get depressed? You get depressed, right? So when you get excited, oh, racial problems, very exciting. I can do something about it. I can extend my hands. I can extend my friendship. Oh, excitement. And you say, oh yeah, streets very dirty. Garbage collecting system not so good. What do you do? Excitement. Very exciting. I'm going to manual a group of volunteers who help to clean up the streets. You know, I'm going to do these wonderful things. And if my son doesn't listen to me, oh, exciting, very exciting. Because if I can overcome this problem, I am going to be a better speaker than Teacher Song. See, exciting. And then I will invite you over to the podium. You know, you will record it. We're going to tape a distribution DVD. You know, you'll be a star. You know, so excitement. And you have employees, or if you have what we call your colleagues who don't want to cooperate with you, what do? You get depressed or excited? You get excited. Okay? Don't get, oh my God, I have to see them again. They don't like me. They don't want to talk to me. They don't do the things I want them to do. I'm very depressed. No, get excited. They don't listen to me. Interesting. Why don't they listen to me? Ooh, I'm going to be like what Sherlock Holmes. I'm going to investigate a little bit. Don't you get excited when you have a case in hand? Have you ever seen Sherlock Holmes getting excited when somebody got what? Got, well, KLLED, and he had to go and solve the mystery? Have you ever seen him say, oh my, another dead person, another, mystery? I get so depressed. He gets so excited. Quickly he called what? Watson, let's go. Did you ever see Batman get depressed? When he see villains, he get very what? He get very excited, right? Oh, another evil, case for me to help. They get excited. They don't get depressed. Right? So attitude is everything. It is absolutely 100%. Just change a little bit. Turn around. Okay. Now, so Q&A. What do you think is very challenging in your life right now? Let's get some excitement point here. 要找兴奋点，我很兴奋的。吴董讲的，哇，有问题啊，我很兴奋，太兴奋了，竟然有问题啊，你有问题啊，哎，太好了，来坐下来跟我谈。So what is the thing that trouble you, that make you depressed? You don't want to deal with it anymore. No? You see, no, then I can proceed. That means you all get excited when you have no problem, which is good. Right? See every single thing as an exciting point. I remember Wu Dong, he came from a rich background, and but when he came here, we had to put him up in a room, okay, in one of our apartment units. And we have two single bed, which is actually more fit for children, huh? The single bed we have actually are more suitable for children, teenager, very thin. And the pillow we use are kind of like candula, very soft. And if you are heavy, you can sink from the top to the bottom, that kind of pillow. But in the morning, he saw me and said, oh, I felt very excited because yesterday I slept in a first-class cabin. 我昨天想象我在那个什么一等舱那边睡觉，我就很开心。Because 能够在一等舱睡觉是很幸福的。吴董这样来想 ，he said it is so blessed to be able to sleep in a first class, in a business class cabin. 他说 I imagine myself sleeping in the business class cabin, and I felt very blessed. 我觉得很幸福，因为我想象我是睡在那个飞机的头等舱。Did you ever imagine yourself sleeping in 飞机的头等舱? No, you get depressed. You get depressed, right? Why you get depressed? The bed is not good enough, my blanket is not comfortable enough, my pillow is not comfortable enough, and this and that. For him, one thin pillow again, you can sink from top to the bottom, you can literally, like your head can touch the bed, that kind of pillow. But he felt absolutely blessed. Again, is attitude. 转一转嘛，转一转啊，没关系的。人呢，我觉得人要活着要 exciting， 要 happy， 对吗？ Would you rather live happily or depressingly? Of course, you want happiness, right? Anybody want to be miserable? Anybody want to be miserable here? We don't want to be miserable, right? We want to be happy. So change our attitude. So let's say, okay, I remember one a parent said, I want him to take shower twice. He doesn't listen to me. Okay, so you turn it into excitement. Oh, he doesn't want to take. So I'm going to talk to him again. It's good for you because you sweat too much. It's not good for your body. Okay, I'd like you to grow up into a tall, white and handsome man. So I would like you to, take your shower, but you don't have to take it now. Yeah, you can take it later, but don't take too long. Okay, so 1 hour later, he still hasn't taken his bath. Okay, so do you get depressed or you get excited? You get depressed, right? Okay, not to say anger lah. You get depressed. Okay, doesn't work. So you go there again. Oh, you still haven't taken your bath? There goes your mom's dream, having a fair, tall, and handsome young man grow up healthily. And see the reaction. Okay? You don't have to keep on, why didn't you take a bath? Why? I don't know why. I just happen to want to aggravate you, okay? I don't know why. If you keep on asking me one more time, I'm going to aggravate you. Just for the sake of doing it, right? 你问那么多，我就故意就给你问一问了。Moreover, you are my mom. I know you. Mom is a saint, right? Mom is a saint. Even though she kept on like grumbling and whatever, but we know she loves us. That's their weak point, right? They love us. 真的，骂到怎么样哦 ？Like my mom is a Hakka, right? You know Hakka when they scold. Anybody Hakka here? Any Hakka? You Hakka, huh? When your mom scolds us, wow, the Hakka language can be pretty rough, okay? And then the one thing that she likes to say is if we don't eat our meals, you think they are like you? 吃啦，吃啦，你很瘦哦，吃啦，eat 啦 ，don't eat why you so thin? It will keep your body nutritious, right or not, Jane? Eat 啦 You know my mom 屙屎嘅 My mom's like that 屙屎啊，今天屙屎嘅，你知道嗎 ？Finish our meal. You see, she cooks fresh meal. 2 meals a day. Okay, she fresh. Every morning she go to the market. She went to the market. She came home. There's no leftover. That's her principle. 这是她的原则，没有 leftover 的。所以你不吃豉油撈飯呢？咩叫豉油撈飯呢？ Soya sauce put on white rice. That will be my meal. Right? 你屙屎啦，唔識嚇。Where I got now? Hey, you haven't eaten your dinner. Go and eat quick, faster. Where got this? You don't eat you die it's that like that, I don't. If I don't eat, I die. I better go and quick. I will sit there first. In fact, I get very worried when I look at my dad. You see, in our house, the etiquette is that my dad must make the first move. That means if he hasn't taken up his chopstick and either pick up the first vegetable or scoop the first rice, we cannot move. Every day I was like a third world refugee looking at my dad. Please, I'm hungry. And then as soon as I saw him did that, I can move. Then one day, it was very rare to get 一干包is it 鲳魚 So my mom fried really delicious looking fish, 鲳魚 Then I went right to the fin. That's the most chewy part, right into the fin. It was just like the martial art movie, You know how martial art movie you fight with the chopsticks? So I put my chopstick there, and my mom put her chopstick there to take. Don't move. Mayuk. Come on. Why? It is for your father. This is for your dad. Ooh, I quickly withdrew my chopstick. It is for my dad. The best thing always go to my dad. You see, this is how they taught filial piety. May not go to 弟子规 class in Chonghua cultural education, but they definitely teach filial piety around dinner table or lunch, okay, a table. So I quickly withdrew. Then, what a pity. Then I look at my dad again. Using the refugee look at my dad again. My dad said, okay lah, you can have the tail. Thank you. The respect, much respect my father first. So before a meal starts, I have to call, Dad, come up and eat, because our medical shop is downstairs, we live upstairs. That's how we learn respect. So my dad did not have to say too many things to us. My mother, since we were young, groomed that respect. So same likewise, the dad, you should help to groom the respect for the mom. Okay? We dare not talk, really rough to my mom, because my dad just had to come and stare at us. We got the message. Now, those of you who are dad already, how many times you have to stare at your children, they still don't get it? Well, not. Maybe they say, what are you scaring me for? Then you have to stare really hard again and again. My father didn't have to. My father just have to stand there and look. And I, right away we got this message. Okay, why? Because around the dinner table, they told us a lot of things which are very subtle. Okay? And why did my mom always put me beside my dad? Because whenever I make any little mistake, just like this one, hold empty container just as carefully as if they are full. Okay? Everything has to be 细心. So if I drop some rice on the floor, my dad gave me this favorite Hakka weapon. And I always wonder why mom always put me beside my dad. I was like, I always now I know because I was very 粗心啊，粗心大意啊，所以就整天在旁边。不过不错啊，敲锣很聪明。I become very smart, a clever girl. I become clever girl. So 要学细心，这是很细心，而且要懂得要转。Delicate, be sensitive, and learn how to turn the corner if you have to. Don't necessarily have to insist that your way is the right way and right now. Okay. So the next thing that to join with this is hold empty containers just as carefully as if they were full. Again, another exemplification of tenderness, the delicacy. Now, this is empty, right? Now that I know it's empty, how will I hold it? Empty bottle, right? I would do stuff like this. I would throw it around, and I would swing like this, ting, ting, ting. One day I already did it, then case in point, ding, 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 and I hit somebody. So one day I was doing this, and then it went what? Flew the other side. Why? The handle broke. Okay. Luckily, I didn't hit anybody. Okay. So hold empty container as if they are full. Now, if you can hold empty containers when they are full, that shows that what? You are a very careful person. 入虚室如有人 when enter an empty room as if they were occupied. Okay. Let's read this, 149 to 152. Hold empty containers, just as carefully as they were full. Enter empty rooms as if they were occupied. Okay? We can be so, delicate and discreet. We're called discreet. And that's why the translation for this chapter is cautious in our daily life. We must be sensitive. We must be discreet. Now, when the host of the Phoenix Television 凤凰台 they 好像是何鲁湘是吗 he interviewed a master about 弟子规 about this book. He said, I read through this book and I find it really makes sense. He said, if next time I were to hire somebody, I would hire somebody who would be able to do this. 直虚气如实饮 Hold empty containers as carefully as they were full. Why would I hire somebody like this? Because I can trust him with my $250,000 camera. Because if he can hold empty container as if it is full, this person will be very careful with the things he handles. So I can trust this man with my, $250,000 equipment. 他说我一定会请学弟子规的人。So don't say 弟子规 have no 出路啊，弟子规有出路啊，因为你的孩子学这个直虚气如直饮 ，then suddenly 凤凰台看中你的孩子。因为呢，你会很小心保护他的 camera， 会有这样的情况。好，那你看那个 empty room 没有人嘛，没有人，为什么我们还要这么 careful 呢？ 为什么要这样 careful？ 没有人吗？你就知道没有人吗？其实真的是没有人吗？啊，有些你可能看不到呢，你不要惊到他嘛，so 不要 don't scare them 嘛 ，you can't see them, they're there, okay? So you still have to knock on the door. Secondly, you may think there's nobody in there, maybe there's somebody there, okay? So you scared him off or her off, so you should knock first, knock on the door, okay? Not to scare them. And for my colleagues who are extremely compassionate, they were even afraid and scared of stepping on cockroaches. Now, cockroaches are our enemies, right? To you, are they enemies or friends? Do you get excited when you see cockroach? You don't get excited, you get depressed, right? Our colleagues, when they see cockroaches, they see them as if they are, well, I've done all my best, I've cleaned my house, everything, you still come over because our neighbors are not that tidy, so I have to be careful not to step on you. So as they knock on the door, they're also giving them, like creatures like this, some signals. I am back. You better go back to your house. The little house, crawl away, go away. So you go home, they won't be there. You know why? Because they know you have come back. They only come out when you go to sleep. So two of you can stay together harmoniously together. When you're there, they don't come out. When you go back to sleep, they come out. Right? And they're also a natural cleaner. They eat up everything, including your dry skin that you drop on the floor. They eat those things. So in nature, they exist for a reason. Cockroaches are one of the oldest animals in the world. Apparently, they existed during the dinosaur eras. Okay. And why do they have such powerful living ability? Because they clean up. They clean up all these debris that we left out. Okay? So they are the nature's cleaner. Okay? But doesn't mean that you have to keep cockroaches. If you are clean, normally they don't come to your house. Okay? So this is one thing. And when you have this careful attitude, people can also they trust you. It is so hard to trust people nowadays. But if you can be as delicate as that, they can trust you. Just like there was during the Confucius time, there was a person called Qu Yu. Okay? And one day the Duke of Wei was sitting with his consort in the palace. And then they heard this carriage moving, bypass. Suddenly the carriage stopped. They didn't hear the sound. And then after a while, the carriage moved on. So the consort Nanzi said, that must be Qu Yu's carriage. So Duke Wei asked her, how do you know? She said, Qu Yu was a minister, a gentleman, who knows his fault of 49 years when he was 50 years old. That means he knows exactly the kind of mistakes that he made. Every single year he reflects upon himself. And Qu Yu will know the ritual of respect. So when you see the carriage of the king, you have to come down and bow to the carriage. And whenever you pass the palace, whenever you pass the imperial palace, you have to stop the carriage. Don't let it run, but you have to walk until you pass the door of the palace. Okay, it's a courtesy. Now, when I was a small kid, I was brought to Johor for a visit. I was very excited. Okay, then as the car passed by the Istana, apparently we're not supposed to honk, right? We're not supposed to make noise around the Istana. I thought that was not very nice. I said, why can't we do that? Just because, this is Istana and so on. But after I learned this story, actually it's a ritual. It's the rite. It's the courtesy that we show to the emperor or the sultan as a respect because he's the ruler of the land. So there are three things a person owned which deserves our respect. One, 年高. That means he's an elderly person. Okay. 位高, that means he occupies a high position. 三, 德高, he's a moral individual. So if this person has one of these three, or two of these three, or three of these three, we must pay due respect to them. That means he's an elderly. Nian Gao Wei Gao. That means he has a high status.德高. That means he's very high moral integrity. 只要这个人有其中的一个或者两个到三个都要尊重他。So it is not like another culture that poke fun of the leaders. Okay, actually, traditional Chinese culture have a lot of respect for the rulers because of their status, because of the position that occupy. They can do a lot of things for the citizen. So we must respect them. Okay, we must respect them and let them know what is right. Okay, for the people. Okay, but do give them due respect. Okay, instead of like some culture where they will poke fun of their leaders, we're not supposed to do that. 只要他年高、位高、德高，都必须呢尊重他们。And if we want to be careful, and if we want to be tender, and want to be discreet, our mind, our attitude, okay, is influenced by the state of our mind. Meaning that 有时候我们的态度是受我们的心来影响。为什么呢？你心情很急的时候，你的 attitude 呢就会有一点偏。When your mind is not settled, when your mind is disturbed, your attitude will also change to the negative form. So here 153 to 156 is to, through our work, through our everyday behavior, doing work, we help ourselves to cultivate the state of tranquility. Okay? Now let's read 153 to 156. Okay? Avoid doing things in a hurry. Avoid doing things in a hurry, since acting in haste will lead to many mistakes. Do not be afraid of a task that is difficult or become careless when a job is easy. Okay? So avoid doing things in a hurry, but can we do that? Do not do things in a hurry? Cannot. Why not? I say, when we drive, there are a few cars that will normally run a little bit fast and then cut you off, right? Now, what do you say to these drivers? Huh? Oh, you must change a little bit. You should get depressed, anger, or excited. You should get excited. Time for you to cultivate your what? Your mental strength, okay? So somebody cut you off. What else do we say about this driver? Well, I would say, why can't you leave your house earlier? Why can't you leave your departure point earlier? Okay? But I was trying, and I noticed that I was exactly doing the same thing. I should have left my office earlier in order to catch the appointment. I also left my house late, and therefore I was also rushing. And the famous on the way for I don't know KL people, I don't know if you want to use it or not. Somebody call you, right? Hello, teacher Song. Where are you? Oh, I'm on the way. What on the way? I haven't left the house yet. Oh, you're on the way already? Yes, I'm on the way. Oh, okay, we'll wait here. Okay, yes, please. What on the way? I haven't even left the house yet, okay? So I'm sure one day somebody going to ask us, okay, what road are you on now? show me the Hong, show me the sign. Switch on your Skype, I know you have the data pack, go and show me. I'm sure one day they're going to make that request, okay? Because my on the way has been used a little bit too much. So, you ask ourselves, like, do we have to do everything in a rush? Can we plan a little bit? Don't do everything in a rush, because in a rush, 真的事务忙，忙多错。你什么时候忙到错了？有没有这样的例子啊？ Mr. D say you cannot be not rush, huh? Why? 为什么一直 rush? 其实一开始一早就 rush 了，是不是 ？What do you rush? 起身，是不是 ？Wake up 啊 ，That's the first rush. Wake up. They still don't wake up. So you go wake up. They still don't wake up. After they wake up, what do? They take shower. They brush their teeth. They eat breakfast. Okay, and if they eat their breakfast slowly, 快。If they wear their clothes slowly, 快。It's amazing children don't get gastric. The way we rush them. But it's the adults who get gastric. Get excited, don't get gastric. Okay, so get the good adrenaline pump going instead of getting all this acid inside your stomach. Okay, so take it easy. I really believe that if you take it easy, all the people around you will calm down. You should try that. You try that? Can you try that? 旁边的人很紧张哦，你就 calm yourself down. You slow down. Okay? Otherwise, you're competing for speed, and a lot of times you cannot compete with them. Okay? And I also saw a child, very interesting enough, because his mother was a very edgy person. So ever since he was young, he was my friend. He learned this. He became very slow. That was how he controlled his life. I became very slow. He said, I walk very slowly, I talk very slowly, I do everything very slowly to counterbalance my mom. Okay? So, if you want to speed him up a little bit, what you do? You slow down. Okay? You have to slow down. You have to calm down. Because if you don't calm down, they cannot calm down. So, if you want to make the first move, 记得这个事务忙多错，然后勿畏难 nothing is that difficult. 勿侵略 but nothing is easy too. So just look at it as an exciting point whereby you can what? You can get some solution out of it. If a problem has no solution, it's not a problem. 你们听到吗？ If a problem has no solution, it's not a problem. What is it? It's not a problem anymore because there is no solution. You may as well, forget it because there is no solution. So whenever you say there is a problem, there got to be a solution. So now Q&A. Any question? Don't be too easy on us, Give us some tough questions. Things that bother you and then that you never could, like, I tried, but I couldn't. That kind of situation. No? You're very happy now? After you learn 弟子规, everything is peaceful and harmony and... Yes, really.
Early morning is not me rushing, but you see, I have to pick up my neighbor's daughter, the same school my son. So every time we are earlier than her. So every time we have to wait for her. So by the time when she get ready, I have to rush to school. And I don't like rushing to school. But still I have to rush to school every day. Because I told the mother before, she's early now. But then the mother said, yeah, she's very momo, she will do this very slow. I don't know how to say everything.
You should learn what my mom did. Just go away. I did a few times, only 1 or 2 times. Then she'll be like, okay, very early,
1 or 2 times, after back to left already.
Well, then you do it again. We call it repetition is very important. You see, one of the study method of the traditional Chinese society is repeat. 重复的背，重复，不重复的话they forget.
But I feel very bad. Then it's like.
Don't feel very bad. Feel excited. Don't feel bad. Feel excited. You succeed for twice, you fail another time, get excited. You go and succeed another 2 times again you fail once, you get excited. They don't come out, time's up, you go away. You go there, time's up, they don't come, you go away. You do that every day, without fail.
No, the mother thing.
Mother think, well, if she's clever, she will make her daughter punctual. Or find another driver. Right? I mean, if I were her, I get the point. They don't, because you don't get excited, you get depressed, you just sit there and come on, hurry up. Right? No need. I mean, you really help them. Okay, we'll wait until what time? And I'm sorry, Mrs. What? We have to go now. Okay? Rather than you having all this acid inside you and then, I got to rush again. You know, time is precious. Life is good. So, protect yourself. And, talk to him, talk to her, when you have time. The virtue of actually, it's, do you just drive her daughter to school and that's all?
Yeah.
You don't talk to each other?
We do, but when I have time, but most of the time I don't have time.
So you were just a taxi driver, isn't it? You're a bus scholar only, isn't it? Yeah lah. You should talk to her, otherwise you're just a bus scholar. Even bus scholar doesn't wake, remember? And bus scholar doesn't 打干冬菇，是不是？打在心里别jalan.
The mother did after that because I have to go early. Then the daughter is really late. Then the mother sent her. Then after that, when I see the mother, so did she arrive school early, late? Then the mother would say, oh late. Then after that, the next day was okay. So 3 days later back to.
Oh, it's okay. So you get excited again, Then you go and try to pick a daughter up. If she's late, then you walk, move on. Okay. People takes time to repeat again and again. Okay. So be happy. Just do that every day. When time's up, you move. Time's up, you move. Okay. Even bus scholar do the same thing. Okay. So don't worry too much about it. Then don't just be a bus scholar driver lah. Be a neighbor. What does neighbor do? What do neighbor do actually? What do your neighbor do? I know in Nepal, the neighbor, we only talk to one side, we don't talk to the other side because they are very strange people. Okay, but we have to talk to each other. Okay, we say, hello, Mrs. Ho, how are you doing? And so Mrs. Ho will look after our house when we're not there. We look after their house when they're not there. So it's kind of nice. My mom has something to eat, to go over and give it to them. So it's a very nice atmosphere. Okay? So do the neighborly things. Instead of looking at each other, I don't know who you are, you don't know who I am, but I'm just your driver, and I'm your security guard, that type of attitude. So be a good neighbor, okay? Because it's very odd to just talk to her, over the fence. You should really be punctual. That's a little bit abrupt. So we have to maybe invite them over for dinner. Yes, we don't do that. We don't do that. Hey, neighbors are very important. They are much more important than your relatives, during emergency. Who is closest? Who is nearest to you? Hey, your neighbor, if you call, hello, so-and-so, where are you now? I'm in the place which 50 miles from you, 50 kilometers from you. But I'm going to feign, when can you come back? Well, the fastest is 45 minutes if there's no traffic jam. Meanwhile, your neighbor is next door. Your neighbor is next door, okay? So I think it's worth cultivating, neighborly care. But I understand we do have some tough neighbors. If you're not lucky, you do get some tough neighbors. But do get excited. You got tough neighbors now. What do? You get excited. Think about ways. Okay, maybe you want to give them some, sugar, maybe sweets, some biscuits, and invite them to Chonghua to attend this class. Since you have to drive the daughters to the school anyway, you might as well be a bus caller and drive them here, isn't it? Put the children in with your children. You see, they are happy friends. Become good neighbors, be friends. Then they can sit with you, two neighbors sitting there together, listening to my good saint, sage teaching, and two of you become, good friends, good neighbors. Isn't that exciting? Right? It's very exciting. So yeah, try it. I look forward to seeing them.
Tried before. Since the daughter have lots of homework.
Say a lot of daughter's homework. Well, bring the daughter here and do the homework outside. Yeah, we can. If he doesn't make noise, she can sit at the back and do her homework. There are ways, a lot of ways, we can do something. If each of you can bring one person, we double the class here. Okay, and double the class, you can bring one more, then go to Ming Lun Tang, right? A bigger hall. So always get excited, don't get depressed. Right? Moreover, usually we don't get depressed. What do we get? We get angry. We get angry, which actually hurt, ourselves. It's not worth it. I find that ladies who are not married, they tend to age later, okay? And they can kind of keep themselves well, longer. A lot of my friends were very pretty. Okay? After they got married, they deteriorate very fast. They decline very fast. I don't blame them. You all know that must be stress. You don't know the stress, huh? Very stressful to be your mother. It is very stressful. Originally, your mother was, for instance, it starts with the voice. When you were girls, your voice were what? A bit tender, right? Delicate, After you married, your voice starts to become louder, coarser. Why? Every day you're shouting. Why? And then you start to have wrinkles. Why? Because you always, why? Then you start to yell and shout, and then you get angry. You got all the acid in your stomach, and you cannot eat if they don't eat, and you cannot sleep if they don't sleep, everything. You think it's everything, single thing about them. Relax. It's very exciting to be a mother, isn't it? Don't you think? Anybody here not excited being a mother? Oh, why am I raising my hand? Don't you? It's a very exciting thing to be a mother. 做母亲兴不兴奋啊？高兴吗？高不高兴啊？You see, you must maintain the excitement. Maintain the excitement. The first day you look at him, wow, what a gorgeous, little guy, I gave birth to. Okay, now you look at him, it's the same guy. Okay, you see, that's why he's so rough, because when he was young, he went. That is a bit rough now. You see, they are the creature of our what? They are the product of our creation. Okay, so look at this person, daughter or son, as a very exciting product of yours. Nobody else has this product, only you, isn't it?
But somewhere goes wrong.
Somewhere, somehow goes wrong. Oh yeah, let's talk about this. Oh, I love this. Yes, somehow, somewhere, something went wrong. So what went wrong? Well, he grows under your roof. You brought him up. So what's wrong? What's wrong? What's fault was it? Whose fault was it? Now, when I was in school, I asked the teacher, okay, now you told me there's so many problems with kids, your students. Whose fault was that? They told me it's a parent's fault. So I asked the parents, well, apparently the primary school, children are very rambunctious because it's the parents' fault. They said, no, it's the teacher's fault. So I went to the teacher. I said, well, because of the parents, they told me it's not their fault, but it's the teacher's fault. So the teachers thought for a second, and she said, "Oh, it's a society's fault." 对吧？总而言之，不是我的错就对了，是不是？So it's a very good question. You raise this kid up, he grows with you, you cook for him or you prepare meals for him, you buy everything for him, but somehow what happened? What happened? Right? So I had an English teacher who told me if he ever have children, he is 100% responsible for the children. At that time, I couldn't quite accept that. I said, no, you can't say that because of the influence of the society, of friends, it's not exactly 100% of your fault. He said, no, I am 100% responsible because I could have changed. I could have changed him. I could have prevented him. But I did not, I could not, I may not know how, so I'm 100%. Because when the kid was born, he's so cute. He's so innocent, he's so angelic. But under my care, then he became bad. So that must be my problem. Okay. And this is something which is a little bit hard for parents to accept. But of course, don't be too excited when you hear that, teen children. Okay. Because it goes both ways. That was before you learn 弟子规. Yes, you will blame your parents. But we must also understand that parents have their limitation as well. Their education, their experience, okay, their circumstances, we must understand also. So we should not, put the entire blame on the parents. The parents are facing a lot of challenge as well, especially in the 21st century. You are facing a lot of challenges which was not there before. What was the challenge? Information explosion. Your children are getting a lot more information that they don't need now, but which they already knew. And that clutter their mind. That make their mind impure. Okay? And when I wasn't, satisfied with my mom's scolding, I would just mumble among myself and create stories inside my head. Like if my mom kept said, he or whatever, I said to myself, I said, Mom, if I really die, you'll be very miserable because you love me. How could you want somebody you love, to die? Of course you don't, right? You don't mean it. So I could rational things out by myself. But with this information, all this information that I'm getting, I would think otherwise. Okay? I may be influenced by negative thought. All this hate, hate culture. I may absorb some of it. And if we don't promote 弟子规, to teach your children how to, love your parents, forgive your parents' fault, they may become very negative. And you can't, stop the information that they are exposed to. So it takes a lot of forgiving, a lot of give and take. Don't rush. At this point, maybe your children, you cannot rush them anymore because they have passed the 1,000 days. Okay? The Chinese believe that, if you really want to shape somebody, you do it in the first 1,000 days. Because that's the most, what you call it, the most influential development of a child's mind. First 1,000 days is what? 3 years. 3 years. So the Chinese say 3岁定八十。所以好好的看着他3年，然后呢，7岁就定终身了。By the time you reach 7 years old, you pretty much know how he or she will behave. Right? So, if you want to do things now, you want to revert things in a hurry, you might, it's like, 拔苗助长啊。Like a farmer wants the rice to grow up rapidly. So he went out, worked the whole night to pull up all the rice seedling. The next day he went to his field, he found that all the seedlings were dead. 全部死的，为什么？他以为这样拔它们会长得快一点了，结果呢，全部给它拔的死了。Because it cannot grow that fast. You are actually literally pulling it out of the soil. So it cannot get the nutrition that it gets. 所以不能拔苗助长。 要让他去顺着来。Okay? So don't be afraid of a task. It's not easy to be parents. It's not easy to be children. This is difficult, okay? But don't be afraid of it. Okay, see this as a very exciting challenge, and it's a wonderful reward, because the world may end, everybody else may upset you, your family will still be there. Okay, you can always count on your family, and we should hope that this family, can be, our bastion. I mean, our base where we can understand human relationship. We try to cultivate a culture of family here in our company, in our institution. Remember, for those of you who came in and listened to the talk, Mr. Wu wants to cultivate a family culture whereby we take care of each other. But if you do not know what a family like, you will have a little bit more difficult, in staying with this family, because you don't know what a family like. What is a family like? What is a family to you? To be a family, what kind of quality should we have between parents, brothers and sisters, grandparents, and all these uncles and so on? What are the things about family that we have, that we should have? How does he qualify as your family? I'm going to listen to you first. 你对家人又怎么对你？ You have to control each other, right? Do you give up on them? You never give up on them, right? Even though they might have done things that you don't approve of, you never give up on them. Okay? Yeah. Families like that, you never give up on them. We stand by each other. Right? Okay, what else can you think about a family? Trust. You trust them. And that's why it's not easy to be betrayed by your family. If you're betrayed by your brothers and sisters, it's not something we can easily accept, because we want to trust each other. Okay, what else can we talk about being a family? We never give up on each other. We trust each other. What else about a family? Yeah, I would like to hear about you. What do you think about a family should do for you, or you should do for a family? Challenge, get excited. No, don't be too fast. He's thinking. What's a family important? What is important of family? Or what is a family to you? Other than a place for you to have food to eat, for have a room to stay, have a mom who always say you haven't done your homework, you haven't tidied up your room. What is a family to you? Your family member will always be there for you, eh? You say, give them a hug, and please hug each other. Yeah, you see? Your mom will always be there for you. Right? Yeah, they will always be there for you. So are your brothers, okay? Your brothers, they'll always be there for you, and you should be there for them as well. 一家人嘛，所以这个家always take it as an exciting mantra that you are being placed in a very special, relationship that you have with your family. Right? So nothing is a problem. Right? Now, but there are problems. Right? So let's look at 157 to 160. Right? Let's read it. Keep away from rowdy places. Do not be curious about things that are bad or unusual. That means 斗闹场者勿近, such as things that consume alcohol, those very loud clubs, and media that play a lot of violent movies, and all these things, they are rowdy places, things that can disturb your calmness, your tranquility. Right? And now where is this 斗闹场, rowdy places? They used to be just outside your house, right? So when you see your children staying at the home, not going out, but playing with the computer, is he safe? He's not safe because he has invited the rowdy places into your house. Okay? Because you would not stand and watch people killing each other, would you? In real life. You would not standing on the street or anywhere to watch people killing. But on television and computer, we watch that all the time. So things that we will not do, in a real life, outside the house, okay, we are doing it inside the house. We watch this violence right in front of us every day. Okay? But these Grace said, keep away from them because you get influenced. And I'm really surprised at all these pictures, with women very, very little clothes, and I just want to get one piece of information, all these pictures suddenly pops up. I don't know how young men can resist that. I'm sure they're curious, they will click on it and they watch a whole bunch of things. And we do homework, and they do homework, they have to do research, so all these things will pop up at the same time. Okay? So don't give them, too many computer gadgets at too early an age. Okay? They will pick that up, don't worry. They will pick up the latest technology, even though 5 years from now. And they will start from the latest technology. They wouldn't have problem. Okay? Because you must consolidate his moral quality first. 德是本 This one. 这个是本 这个做人才是本。读书是为了做人，不是去赚钱。你会做人，你就会赚钱。If you know how to be an upright man, okay, if you know how to deal with human relationship, you'll be a good businessman. A good businessman always know how to build relationship. 是吧？人缘好的人才生意好，怎么样人才可以做生意 ？Other than 他的 previous karma, OK， 他有财布施，他今生带了很多财。那这一辈子你人缘好，你会做人，你就会能够什么？你生意做得很好啊。那怎么人缘好呢？ Give a very simple, very simple down to earth example. One day I was walking with my friend. We went jogging. Then we wanted to go to have some roti canai. You know how many mamak stores are there? There were one row of mamak store. Okay, so we went past one after one, and then suddenly this Indian, I think Indian owner, he said to my friend, "Oi, lang loi." That means beautiful girl. He's an Indian, but he said, "Hey, beautiful lady, you want to eat roti canai?" Then my friend talked to me, "Hey, this one, we go in." 就这间呢，我们进去了。You see? But we walked past one and one after one. She didn't say anything. Just the Indian, "Hey, 嚟嚟入嚟食roti canai 啊！哦，这间呢，我们进来这间就进去了。诶，人缘嘛 ，you're smiling faces. And one day I went to a shop. I really wanted to buy something, but every single shop looked so miserable. They looked so miserable, as if I was a nuisance. And I said, "Okay, I don't want to buy from you." Then I walked away. Okay. And also now they like to play with their smartphone. They're not selling things, They are not serving you. They are playing with their smartphone. Maybe they text in the smartphone, and talk to other people, but not to the customers. So we find this kind of this technology-driven wealth is actually entrapping people. Yes, technology brings us more material wealth, but at the same time, it also alienates us from our work. You call it the alienation of our own product. We alienate ourselves. An alienation from our, call it our production. See, the word handicraft literally means you make with your hands. So it is something that you make. So you put a lot of yourself into that product. You feel proud of it. So work was enjoyable. Now we have die cast. We just have to put the material, put in the mold. They go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, thousands of them come out. You don't have that love in it. The mass production have alienated us from our product. And you know why we call it recreation? What does recreation mean? Yes, Lily?
Where you can have fun or relax.
Yeah, the place where you can have fun and relax, right? It's a place of a recreational activity, right? Okay, look at the word. Look at the word, huh? See, it's recreate. That means 你要重新去生产，重新去制造。Recreate what? You have to recreate your connection with the nature. You have to connect yourself with something that is more human. So you recreate yourself with humanness. You can be a human again. You can really enjoy what you do again. So you recreate. Okay, you try to look for that thing back again. Because we have been discreated by this modern technology. We are more and more become non-human. Okay, we are actually moved by these machines, like these walls. This is not a very natural room. We're disconnected with the nature. You look at this room. If we don't have aircon, if we don't switch off the fan, is a comfortable room? It's going to be very stuffy. And even if you open the window, there's no air circulating. It's not. But we have to be cooped in here. We have to devise technology to help us to survive in this. So what do we invent? Aircon. We invent the fans to help us to cope in this little cube. Because technology has allowed us to do that. Right? But is this human? It's not very human. What else is not very human, but we are doing it? What else is not human, but every one of us is doing it now? Now, if you invite me to dinner, let's say you invite me to dinner, so what do we do at the dinner table? Jane, you invite me and, what's her name? Sean, is it? Jane. Wei Jing. And Wei Jing's friend for dinner. Okay, so we sat down on dinner. So what do you do? What do we do? Yeah, I start talking with smartphone. I check my smartphone. Then the phone, I check. I'm sitting with 3 of you, but I'm talking with my friend on the other side. Okay? It did not happen even, just 5 years ago, When we eat for dinner, we sit down, we talk. Okay? When there's a phone, or you either switch off your phone or you silence it. We rarely talk to each other. Now, I don't know whether you're talking to me or you're talking to the phone. And I even have seen parents, I was talking to my friend, to her parents, and he gave his smartphone to the son. Hey, play with it. To keep him quiet. So the kids were playing with his smartphone so that we can talk. Is that very human? It's not very human. Before there was smartphone, so what do parents have to do with the children? We have to think about a way to connect with them to calm them down, right? Now, hey, go and play. Go and play. But we have the money, we buy this technology, we give it to the children, but to do something that is not very human. What else is not human? Which we do it every day. What are legs for? Legs are for walking, right? Do we like to walk? We don't like to walk, right? So when we drive, when we park, we usually like to park at the closest to the entrance, okay? Now, of course, sometimes you have to do that because in a huge parking lot for a lady is a bit dangerous. It can be risky. But normally, we do all like to park to the nearest. Why? We don't want to walk. So if you have to, one day you have to park a little bit further, so what do? You get excited, okay? You get excited. Oh, I can walk. But it's very, very sunny. Get an umbrella, You get excited by holding an umbrella, and then you walk. Because we are supposed to walk with our legs. But we have cars, we have all kinds of gadgets, okay? Now, elevator. First floor to third floor. Would you prefer to walk or you prefer to take elevator? Elevator, right? Right? Elevator. But if there's no elevator, what do you have to do? You have to walk. So with this elevator, these cars, automobile and everything, what would we become our body? It will deteriorate, One day it will become weaker and weaker. So with all this, we are making us more and more inhuman. And we're doing that all the time. Right? So what is this inhuman thing about 斗闹场绝勿近? Normally we will not invite violence, in the street. We will not want them to happen in our house, but we are inviting all this into our house. Okay? And 邪僻事绝勿问, do not be curious about things that are bad or unusual. We got news like this, stories like this all the time over the internet. And they have some really gory, images which, they don't need to know at their young age. Why spoil themselves? Right? Why can't we leave them pure and innocent, as long as they can? Right? So here, the chapter 3, it asks us, keep away from rowdy places, and do not be curious about things that are bad or unusual, because we will be influenced by them. 邪僻事绝勿问. But unfortunately, it seems like we all love to ask 邪僻事, huh? 邪僻事, actually, it didn't really translate it that well here. What is 邪僻事? That means things that are deviating, not upright, not righteous, not upright, something that is kind of like evil. It's called 邪僻事. 好邪啊. Yeah, Example, vampire. Vampire? 僵屍, huh? Now it's very hip to be a vampire, isn't it? When I was growing up, we were scared of vampire. Vampire are bad people, right? But now, vampire are good people or bad people? It's very hip to be vampire, right? We have, Twilight? They are good vampires. They are good vampires, bad vampires. But they are good vampires. When I was growing up, all vampires are bad because they suck blood. No vampire was good. But now, they are good vampires even though they suck blood. So you see, values change. But we seem to be very mesmerized by this. It seems like the crooked, look at all these characters in these comics, the Batman characters, the Joker, the way they look, they're very eerie, isn't it? But we like to watch. Don't we like to watch horror movies? No? You don't like to watch horror movies? Really? You guys are so saint. Mrs. D, you also don't watch horror movies? Good for you. I used to love horror movies. 自己嚇自己啊，很無聊啊，真係好無聊啊嗰排啊，好中意睇啊又驚喎， My brother, you know, Radio Fusion. I think I forgot which day was it. Every night there was Friday. 咩迷離境界嚇？ Oh, you know that too. Then he and I, go upstairs, switch off all the light because we need the atmosphere. And then two of us to go under a table. 快啲開啦，叮，you know the music. And then both of us, 好驚啊！ You know， 好無聊啊！嗰陣時我兩個都唔知做咩做啲咁嘅嘢。啲鬼啊！死咯！跟住我哋攞住執起手啊！死嘅，我冇出嚟冇啊！睇下有鬼啊！如果自己嚇到咁樣都唔知做咩。Then blame my brother, don't blame me 啦嗬。And he took us to see the 3 stories in one. Wow, we thought it was a bargain. 3 stories in one movie. So we went there, and I remember one scene whereby I think the lady was in the shower, but that time it was very conservative lah. Then this vampire came in and just suck, just like cut on her throat and then start sucking the blood. So when I went home, that scene stuck in my brain. I was only 6 years old. So I went to take shower the next day. I did not dare to close my eyes. I was afraid that if I close my eyes, some vampire would come up and, bite my neck. So I remember the soap was dripping all on my eyes. I was like, 人真係無聊啊，是不是？自己嚇自己啊！ See, this black shadow, so keep on imprinting on, our head. And not only we scared ourselves, we scared other people too. Now, this is my brother, I told you, he liked to scare us. And he had 2, those sharp teeth. Some of them have those too, and he had those. And I would be sleeping, and then he would tap on my shoulder, and then I open my eyes, and he used a torchlight, and I think my family is a little bit dysfunctional, but we love each other. Okay, so despite the fact, so it actually makes us horrified of things. So here is saying, don't scare people, don't scare yourself, because even ghosts, they are just beings. Okay, we don't need to go and disturb them. And don't go and disturb them because they have the space. Okay, and always have a very upright heart. 人要有正气. This is very important. It's a little bit hard to translate this into English. I think the closest one is upright. Let's say 正气. "正氣啊，人我有正氣啊，什麼正氣呢？就是 because you do not steal, because you do not do things that are immoral. Okay? You have that aura that can exude the respect, for other people. Even the ghost, even these unseen beings, they too will respect you because you respect them. 所以人我有正氣呢，唔好好似邪氣啊、邪嗰啲就唔好。所以個 children 呢，成日我教佢哋我有正氣，唔好嗰度鬼鬼祟祟咁樣。你睇佢就叫你唔好鬼鬼祟祟。當嗰人寫屁事啊，唔好成日問埋晒啲嘢。哎呀，點解有死冇嘅？點解死到咁慘啊？So all the head is horror pictures. No, ask them to look at the brighter side. Okay, how do heroes save country? How do heroes save people? 再跟他们多讲啊，好，不要让整天看那些鬼鬼神神叨叨的东西。Just like now I recall, it was really it was like really 無聊 is all I can say 啊，真係無聊啊兩個字啊講晒啊，冇其他好解釋啊嚇，自己嚇自己嘅，又要睇又點睇咧？出嚟未？個鬼出嚟未？等你咁啊，出嚟未？咁啊，哎呦又出嚟啊，又閂住，等又咁啊。For all the time I spend on watching horror movies, I might as well go and read some 弟子規 or good Confucius stories. Okay, so don't to remind us, 覺悟問，邪僻嗰啲嘢咧，唔好成日係咁 curious，because the more you look into it, the more you look like them. So cosmetic wise, you see, now there is a form of makeup that make you look like a vampire, isn't it? Very white, gray, and very dark shadow here, and it's considered as beautiful. What once I thought of was a ghost now become beautiful. It's quite scary to walk on the street and look at all these vampire around me. Oh my God, my nightmare come true. So it imprint on us, no, don't do that. 正氣, you must have 正氣一股, 讓人家呢有 hope, and instead of fear, we must give people hope, okay, and brightness. Okay, so with that, I'll end my class here. So if you have any question, you can stay back and we can chat, or otherwise I'll see you next week. Next week is the parents' exchange. Okay, so we look forward to another exchange. And don't forget your journal.